This week's guest on Poetry from Daily Life is Maryfrances Wagner, who lives in the greater Kansas City area. This is her second column in the series. The first appeared on November 19, 2023. Maryfrances began writing poems as an 8th grader, and today writes mainly poetry and some essays. Among books she enjoyed writing are The Immigrant's New Camera and Solving for X. Her latest book, 2025, is a collection of stories about her students and is called Backstories. A unique fact about Maryfrances Wagner is that she has been hit by a car, not once, but twice, while crossing the street.
One of my favorite poets is William Carlos Williams, the Imagist poet, who believed a poem could be like a painting, words that provoke a picture and initiate thought. Here's his most famous poem, which many of you probably know, The Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. William Carlos Williams was a pediatrician for 40 years, as well as a poet. He says, "When they ask me how I have for so many years continued an equal interest in medicine and the poem, I reply that they amount for me to nearly the same thing." For a while, Williams joined the Pound crowd of writers in Paris, made up of artists, among them Ernest Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ezra Pound, Gertrude Stein, T.S. Eliot, and several visual artists. They wanted him to stay in Paris, but he wanted to go back home to practice medicine in New Jersey. He's only one of many writers who have also had a medical degree. Others include John Keats, Anton Chekhov, Michael Crichton, and Arthur Conan Doyle, who created Sherlock Holmes. The Imagist movement became popular in the early 1900s through Ezra Pound's promotion. Here's Pound's most famous Imagist poem. It's called In a Station of the Metro. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough. Williams embraced the image poem and believed poetry should be concise, focus on people and ordinary everyday objects, see beauty in the ugly, and create a reaction through appealing to one or more senses. Here are a couple of his poems that do just that. This one is another famous one called This Is Just to Say. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were delicious, so sweet and so cold. And here's another, just called Poem. As the cat climbed over the top of the jam closet, first the right forefoot carefully, then the hind stepped down into the pit of the empty flower pot. And this one, Young Woman at a Window. She sits with tears on her cheek on the child in her lap, his nose pressed to the glass. In this case, a single image also provokes a feeling. And here is one where he finds beauty in the ugly, Between Walls. The black wings of the hospital where nothing will grow lie cinders in which shine the broken pieces of a green bottle. A single image can preserve and present itself in a few words. Here are a couple of my own. This one is called The Potato Bug. The potato bug on the hosta chews a doily. Slug. Streak in the sun is a prism. And finally, Train of Thought. It slices through darkness, pulling one good thought. The smoke of promises trails the last boxcar out of town. Take a few moments to stare out the window today, walk around outside, or capture a memory of something you saw that startled you, and write some of your own single image poems. It doesn't take long to record what you see. Thank you so much.